Welcome back, everyone. Great competition on the field during this high school football season and some competition to help the community here in Northwest Ohio. We're here to talk about that from the Goodwill Industries of Northwest Ohio's David Takis. David, thank you so much for coming in to talk about this.
Oh, thanks for having me, Lee.
13 ABC and Goodwill partnering with the Pass It On Challenge. And it involves this big semi-truck, right?
Yes, it does.
And high school football teams, schools, communities,
right.
I should say, right?
Absolutely.
Tell us all about it.
Well, what we wanted to do was get into that younger demographic as far as the high school age. We've been doing some stuff with grade school kids for a while now, wrapping it around Earth Day and recycling and some of those things. So we started thinking, how do we get the high school kids involved, their community, their parents? And what we realized was football in Northwest Ohio is massive. People love football and they love competition. So what we wanted to do is pit two high schools up against one another when they're playing during the week to donate and see who can donate the most. They've done some cute stuff like donate the pants off the generals and those types of things when they're trying to promote it. And people have really gravitated to it, and we were lucky enough to have 13 be a partner, and it's a lot of fun, and I think it's been extremely successful to this point. Yeah,
we're coming up not quite to the midway point of the season, but it's interesting that the competition that has taken place, like it was Maumee, Anthony Wayne, really you know, a close rival there, you know, and you ended up getting a ton of goods donated.
Yeah, well, a lot more than a ton. Actually,
yeah, a couple of tons.
We got 11,500 pounds plus
almost 6 tons
from Maumee alone, and then Anthony Wayne did almost 10,000 pounds. So it was the biggest one we've ever done. Maumee had the largest of all time, and Anthony Wayne was third.
Okay.
So it was great. The only one in the middle of those two is Whitmer. So you look at the size of those schools. Yeah. How tremendous is that of Maumee and Anthony Wayne to pull that off for that amount of donated material?
And this past weekend, Lake and Woodmore, right?
Lake and Woodmore, and I just got word that Woodmore just edged them out by a few hundred pounds. They both did roughly 14,000 pounds between the two schools. They're electing to do it a little different. They didn't want to make it a competition. They wanted to make it a complete drive. So they're just going to share in the scholarship fund between the two schools. But still, it's a fantastic opportunity, and they still wanted to know who won, though.
Well, and this is a case where truly everybody's in it together, though,
Absolutely.
Right? But there is a bonus at the end, right? The winner does.
The 13 ABC's been generous enough to allow us to give a $500 scholarship.
Oh, we're paying for that.
Yeah, absolutely.
I didn't know that.
A $500 scholarship to the winning school every week. Like I said, this week's the only week that we're having a shared prize on it, but every other school has gotten the $500, so it's a little give back to them and lets them spend a little bit of money on some fun stuff if they need to. And
of course, you have the donation stores all throughout Northwest Ohio, and that's what this is all about. These go back to you and go into the stores, these donated items, correct?
Right.
But that's what people think about when they think of Goodwill first, I think.
Sure.
David, right? The stores. But there are so many other aspects to Goodwill of Northwest Ohio.
Absolutely. You know, the whole goal, the retail is just a vehicle that allows us to get revenue. What we use that revenue for is job training and placement services for people with disabilities or other disadvantages. People may have problems getting work because they're a little older. They're been out of the workforce for a while. They may have a mental or physical disability.
Some barrier, as it's called, to employment.
Certain barriers that could get in their way from preventing them from getting employment. And we think work is power. We think that gives people a lot of confidence. It helps them. It really helps your community because people are working, engaging in with their neighbors. So we think it's very important, and I think our community believes in that as well. So when you donate to Goodwill, those dollars that are generated go to help your neighbors right here in Northwest Ohio. We don't push any dollars out to the rest of the country. They stay right here in Northwest Ohio. So when you purchase things or you donate things with Goodwill, you really are helping the people that live right here in your community.
And you talk to people who go to the stores, you can get incredible bargains on some pretty good stuff.
You absolutely can. Yeah. Absolutely. I go to all the stores to take pictures and things like that frequently, and I look at all the merchandise that we have in there, and sometimes I find some fantastic bargains. In fact, I'm wearing a shirt right now that I got from Goodwill last week, and I paid less than $5 for it.
I'll be darned. It looks good.
Thank you.
Absolutely, absolutely. And it's interesting, and full disclosure, I was on the board for a little while at Goodwill, but you're constantly brainstorming to find the next way. You talked about getting a younger demographic involved, to get the community involved, because you have to exist. You have some overhead there.
Right.
But the Pass It On Challenge one way, recycling, there's the recycling that happens every year, right? I mean,
yes, we recycle computers and all the components that go along with that. We do a huge drive with the Toledo Zoo where people can bring their electronics and computers, and they're responsibly recycled. We have a partnership with Dell, and those recycled units do generate a little bit of revenue for us, enough to keep the program going and get people work. Quite often we do different programs where we really don't make any money. We may charge a fee from consumers where they get a benefit, but we really break about even, and we're able to hire more people then. We have over 400 employees currently right now, but we're also placing them in competitive employment situations throughout Northwest Ohio.
What about the health of the stores themselves throughout Northwest Ohio? I know you've opened some new ones in recent years, especially in the western counties in our viewing area.
Yeah, we are in 13 counties now, and we've been trying to branch out outside of Lucas County and Wood County a little bit more as we're moving along. Those are kind of uncharted territories for us. Most of the stores are extremely healthy right now. We opened a new store in Fostoria last year, and it's doing fantastic right now. It's one of our better stores. We opened our grand reopening in Bryan. That's a fantastic store. It's completely remodeled. We're starting to look, if in this area, if you're interested in kind of going to look at what we're trying to accomplish in some of these stores, as the store on Navarre. That's a brand new reopening last year, and it's a beautiful looking store. It looks like a regular department store. Yep, there's part of a great sign for it right now, and it shows you that it's really more upscale than they've used to be and what people are used to seeing.
Yeah, we can tell by the shirt.
Thank you.
Yeah, congratulations on the Pass It On Challenge and all the work over there. I tell you, it's a good operation.
Thank you very much.
Northwest Ohio. Thank you for coming in, David. And
Thanks
best of
for
luck the
having
rest of the season.
Yes. Next week we have St. Francis de Sales and Central Catholic.
That's a little rivalry we
Absolutely,
hear too, right?
the Irish night.
Just a little one. All right.
Yes.
David, thanks very much.
Thank you.
Make a good rest of the day. When we come back in just a minute, take 3 with Tom Toy and Skylar Meadows right after this.